Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we are looking at one of the most recognizable faces in modern American comedy, a performer whose entire career was really built on collaboration and just, well, consistency.
Exactly. We're diving into the life and the sources surrounding Patrick Cassidy Finn, the beloved character actor who, as many of you know, recently passed away.
And right away, our mission started with a bit of a puzzle. If you just search for the name Pat Finn, the sources give you two completely different, very successful people.
That's right. It's a necessary task for you, the listener, to sort this out. One Pat Finn is a game show host, born in '56 in Pennsylvania. He hosted Shop Till You Drop, The Big Spin.
A completely different person.
Totally. And then you have the man we're talking about today, Patrick Cassidy Finn. Born in Illinois in 1965, passed away this December 22nd at 60. He's the guy, the character actor, and his story is really the story of Midwest comedy.
Okay, so let's unpack that. His roots are deep in the Midwest. One of 6 kids, Irish Catholic family, grew up just north of Chicago.
In Evanston, Wilmette. Yep. He goes to Loyola Academy and then on to Marquette University in Wisconsin. Graduates in '87. And this is where things really start to click into place for his future.
It's that classic college story, isn't it? He's playing rugby, he's a student, but Marquette gives him these two defining connections.
It really does. He meets his future wife, Donna, there, and his future roommate, Chris Farley.
The Chris Farley connection, I mean, that's just massive. Farley was such an intense, huge personality. What do the sources say about that dynamic, rooming with someone like that?
Well, it seems like Farley's intensity actually helped push Finn. There's this great story from their time in the Marquette Theater program. Finn, was apparently too nervous to even audition for a play at first.
But Farley gets him involved, and as you'd expect with Farley, things get a little chaotic.
A little. Tell us the story about their very short career in the drama department.
Well, they're doing a production of a Sam Shepard play, The Starving Class, which is not exactly a comedy.
No, not at all. A serious drama.
And Farley decides it needs a bit more physical comedy. So he and Finn managed to sneak a live goat onto the stage.
A live goat.
Mid-performance.
Wow. Okay. That's one way to get noticed.
Noticed and immediately thrown out. Both of them were kicked out of the theater department for it. But, that pushed them right into the heart of Chicago comedy.
It did. It pushed them toward improvisation. Finn moves to Chicago and starts training at these two, foundational places. The Second City Touring Company and the Improv Olympics, what we know as IO.
And the names he was on stage with there. It's just staggering.
It's a who's who. You're looking at Chris Farley, obviously, Stephen Colbert, Steve Carell, Tina Fey, Amy Poehler. It was the cradle of modern comedy.
And they're all learning this philosophy, this Chicago ethos of yes and.
Right. And just as important, the idea that your number one job is to make the other person look good. That principle became like the backbone of Finn's entire career.
So all those connections, that whole collaborative spirit, it pays off pretty much immediately when he gets to Los Angeles.
Oh, absolutely. That Midwest network puts him right on the map. He gets cast as George Wendt's younger brother in The George Wendt Show in 1995.
And Wendt becomes a lifelong friend, right? Even godfather to one of his kids.
He did, which just shows how those personal bonds were so central to his whole career.
So once he's in Hollywood, he just becomes this indispensable guy, the ultimate character actor. If you watched a sitcom in the last 30 years, you saw Pat Finn.
He was everywhere, usually playing that well-meaning friend or the slightly confused neighbor.
And his most consistent, his longest role was Bill Norwood on ABC's The Middle.
Right. Mike Heck's best friend. He did that for 9 seasons.
23 episodes between 2011 and 2018. To stay on a hit show that long recurring, that speaks to a certain kind of reliability.
It really does. And beyond that, he started the Nickelodeon show, Marvin. He had great recurring parts on Murphy Brown, Third Rock from the Sun, Ed.
But for you, the listener, the real aha moment, the time you paused the TV and said, hey, where do I know that guy from? It almost always comes down to 2 specific roles.
The 90s comedy jackpot, Friends and Seinfeld.
On Friends, he was Dr. Roger, one of Monica's boyfriends for a couple episodes.
Yep. But the big story, the one the sources really dive into, is his one-off appearance as Joe Mayo on Seinfeld.
The Reverse People, season 9. It's a legendary episode.
It is. And the story of how he even got that part is just, it's wild. It shows you how that show worked.
Get this timeline. He's at a kid's birthday party on a Saturday. He gets a call to rush to the studio.
He has to audition, within the hour. And the weird part was they only kept the actor who got the part, so everyone else was sent home.
So he just waits. And he realizes he's the only one left, and they walk him straight from there to the table read.
All in the same afternoon. From, eating birthday cake to sitting down with Jerry Seinfeld in maybe an hour. It's crazy.
And he said the scripts were famously tight. He assumed there was no improv allowed.
But the director, Andy Ackerman, told him, hey, try to do something to make Jerry laugh.
Which is, what a dream direction, but also so much pressure.
A massive risk. But he took it. He improvised that line when Seinfeld walks in, the bit about not tapping on the glass and laughing.
And it stayed in.
It stayed in. He kept doing it, and the next day, Jerry Seinfeld himself specifically said, no, keep that line. That's an improv actor's dream, a career moment right there.
And there's a fun little inside joke about the character's name, Joe Mayo.
Yeah, that was the actual name of the show's sound mixer. And if you go back and watch that scene, you can actually spot the real Joe Mayo in the background.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's just standing there holding a drink on a speaker. A little nod from the crew.
Okay, so you'd think after hitting that trifecta, Second City, Friends, Seinfeld, he would be a shoo-in for Curb Your Enthusiasm.
You would. And he did get a small part in the season 5 finale, but the story of getting there, it really gets to the core of his whole professional identity.
Because Larry David was hesitant to cast him?
Extremely hesitant. And the reason why is so telling. Larry David thought Pat Finn was, quote, too nice.
Which is just the ultimate problem for a show that runs on awkward confrontation.
Exactly. Curb is all about two people refusing to back down. And that Chicago improv training Finn had is the exact opposite. It's about agreeing, building, making your partner look good.
And Curb is about making your partner look bad, or at least making them uncomfortable.
Precisely. So in the audition, the scenario was that Finn had accidentally taken Larry's expensive loafers from a bowling alley.
And he won't give them back.
Right. But Finn, instinctively, played it the right way. He was apologetic, he was reasonable, he tried to solve the problem.
Which is the absolute wrong way for a Curb character to behave.
Totally wrong. Larry wants the argument. So Finn got a small part, but Larry David later said he wouldn't bring him back because his niceness just didn't fit the show.
That really does frame the two schools of modern comedy, doesn't it? The collaborative versus the confrontational.
It does. And beyond TV, he also did film. He was in Dude, Where's My Car? And he had a great part opposite Meryl Streep. And it's
complicated. He was just a steady working actor. And that work wasn't just on screen. If you lived in Phoenix, for example, you knew him as something else entirely.
Oh, the commercial king,
Yeah.
for sure. He was the face of huge brands, Got Milk, DiGiorno Pizza.
And Toyota. Those Valley Toyota dealers ads with him as Pat were everywhere.
They were. And it makes perfect sense. His whole nice guy persona was perfect for selling reliable family cars. The sources say they'd filmed them in California, but then just tagged them for local markets all over the country.
Which explains why, in a place like Phoenix, one report tracked 940 airings of his ads in a single month.
That's just an insane level of visibility, to the point where some local audiences were apparently kind of sick of him, but it worked.
And that commercial work actually connects to a whole other side of his career as an educator.
Right. He was teaching the very same principles he learned back in Chicago. He taught improvisation for strategic communications to huge corporations, Netflix, AT&T. He was teaching corporate executives the art of yes and, how to listen, how to build on ideas, how to,
make the other person look good.
Exactly. He also taught at Marquette and the University of Colorado Boulder. He really came full circle.
Which makes the recent news so much sadder. Patrick Cassidy Finn died at his home in LA on December 22nd, 2025. He was 60.
It was after a 2-year battle with bladder cancer. He survived by his wife, Donna, and their 3 kids. And you look at all the tributes, and the theme isn't just his talent, it's his kindness.
His daughter Cassidy called him a role model, and she shared this detail about the nurses at the hospital, saying they'd never seen so many people show up for one patient.
Yeah, and comedians like Jeff Dye, his old colleagues from Second City, they all say the same thing. Funny, yes. But more than that, just a fundamentally kind, joyful person.
So as we wrap up, we've traced this incredible career. From getting kicked out of a college play with Chris Farley to being a sitcom staple for decades. And it seems like his entire career was defined by being the ultimate collaborator.
Which brings us back to that friction with Larry David. Larry saw that collaborative spirit, that kindness, as a professional roadblock for his kind of comedy.
But you have to wonder if that exact quality, being the nice guy, the reliable guy, was actually the secret to his longevity. He was the person everyone wanted on their set.
Right. In a business that's famous for egos and conflict, maybe being the most dependable, kind, and collaborative person in the room wasn't a weakness at all. Maybe it was the ultimate strategy.
So was Finn's success because he understood that making the other person look good, whether it was Jerry Seinfeld or a local Toyota dealer, was the surest path to not just survival, but to a truly beloved legacy? It's something to think about.
Food for thought indeed.
That was the deep dive. We'll see you next time.